morning, squad. Welcome back to MadMizzy Sports Morning Show, the number one spot for everything sports talk, sports news, sports debate in the morning. And we back with another great episode 41. I apologize for not giving y'all episode 41 Wednesday morning, but Tuesday night I had a nice little turn up that was a little too nice and I couldn't get up in time Wednesday morning. But we back with a strong episode today. And we're going to start off this episode going back to last night and Giannis Antetokounmpo's dominant performance against the Brooklyn Nets. And we got Kyrie Irving screaming at Ben Simmons. We're going to touch on that. Then we're going to move into Brittney Griner, her resentencing, and what does that mean for Brittney Griner moving forward, and what can the United States and the Biden administration do moving forward to get her home. Moving on from that, we're going to speak on the huge pickup for the Philadelphia Eagles. What does that mean for the Philadelphia Eagles moving forward? And then I got to break down tonight's Thursday night football game of the Baltimore Ravens at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's get into it, gang. Now, this preseason, Ben Simmons had a pretty good performance against the Milwaukee Bucks. And you had national analysts all over talking about, see, this is what Ben Simmons is there to do. To strap down big people like Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's what he's there to do. That's what his role is going to be. And all I was saying was, that was a preseason game. Yes, they were winless in the preseason. Yes, they wanted to win that game. But Giannis wasn't treating that game like it was a regular season game. He wasn't treating that game like it was a postseason game. And last night, he treated the second half of that game like it was a postseason game. He treated the first half kind of like it was a preseason game. He was putting up a little bit too many shots for my liking, airballing some, greasing the rim on some. But that second half, he came out and he dominated, put his head down and said, y'all can't stop me. Even gave Ben a little too small. He too small for me. You feel what I'm saying? I just love that from Giannis. His heart, his fight. That's my number one thing that I love about Giannis is just how he can start off slow, but he gonna keep coming. He gonna keep coming. And what I just took from that is just the Brooklyn Nets have a interior defense issue. They are just so slender. Like, they not small as far as height, but they lengthy and lanky. Giannis is just going through everybody chest and boom, layup, boom, layup. You feel what I'm saying? So they have to bolster up that interior defense with some type of stout big man. They have to make a move on that part. But yeah, that's just Giannis. 43 points, 16 for 25 from the field, 14 rebounds, 5 assists. I think 33 or 34 of those points were in the second half. Just absolutely dominant. Best player in the league. But what is my opinion on Kyrie Irving screaming at Ben Simmons to shoot it, Ben? It's just a reflection that the frustration is mounting in Brooklyn, and it's scary because you have two fragile superstars. You have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. You get what I'm saying? This is what, the fourth game, and you got Kyrie Irving already screaming at Ben Simmons on a fast break when he passes him the ball. Shoot it, Ben! As much as what was going on in Philadelphia, they started picking on him and this, that, and the third. I've never heard anybody scream, shoot it, Ben, while he was on the floor. You get what I'm saying? And from what I was hearing in Philadelphia, they was babying this man, if you ask me, from what I was hearing. So you're not going to get that from KD. You're not going to get that from Kyrie. You're going to get shoot the ball, bro, if you're under the basket. We're not trying to hear that. You're going to get some frustration from Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving if the season continues to go this way where those two are balling and Ben is just out there racking up fouls. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, it's just a reflection of frustration building in Brooklyn. Moving on, though, Brittney Griner was resentenced. She was allocated time served, so her sentence was reduced to about 8 years. They're transferring her to a Russian penal colony soon. To me, I can't even imagine what Brittney's going through right now. To think that she was just going to be back on her way home. To think that she was going to not even play this season in Russia, and now she's dealing with this to where she might not be coming home for almost a decade. That's harsh. Inside of a Russian prison, I watched some of the world's toughest prisons, that TV show, and a lot of them Jones is in Russia because it gets real cold. It just gets so brutal. It's so cold in general. Like, it drives people crazy. You get what I'm saying? So, like, Russia is one of the toughest spots to be imprisoned in, especially going into the winter. It's hard, it's harsh. I know her family's feeling it. I couldn't even imagine what's going through her mind right now to see that the other American got away. I know she has to be thinking right now, if I didn't have this name, I would be home right now. You get what I'm saying? I wouldn't be used as a political pawn for Vladimir Putin. It's hard, man, but we as Americans, we all have to stand up because Biden tried to do it. Biden administration, they offered up the arms dealer from Russia that was locked up, and they said no. They responded with, no, get a Russian citizen that's locked up in a German prison out for us, and then we'll give you Brittney. Bro, how am I supposed to go to Germany and get a Russian citizen out of their prison? How? So they're requesting, honestly, things that are almost impossible to accomplish. So when you're looking at this, Vladimir Putin is clearly using Brittney Griner as a political pawn to pull the United States and the Biden administration into a war with Russia. So the Biden administration has to be very smart in walking this thin line and trying to get Brittney Griner back, because they cannot start a war that will probably result in World War III with Russia over one person. They cannot. If they did not invade Russia over Russia invading Ukraine, you cannot invade Russia just to get back one U.S. citizen. I want Brittney Griner back today, but what more can the Biden administration do? Other people have to stand up. I'm pretty sure Brittney Griner wasn't the only person that was playing basketball in Russia. So why isn't anybody else at least trying to get up and go over there or talk and reach out to some of the Russian citizens that y'all made relationships with? You get what I'm saying? You can't put it on one person when that one person isn't getting any leeway because the person he has to deal with is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Vladimir Putin doesn't want to work with him. So how else is he, what is he supposed to do? You get what I'm saying? When Trump was going through it with North Korea and Kim Jong-un, Dennis Rodman went right over to North Korea and sat with Kim Jong-un. Why isn't nobody doing that with Vladimir Putin to try to get Brittney Griner back? Why is everybody just pointing the fingers at the Biden administration, almost falling for the banana in the tailpipe? You get what I'm saying? Y'all don't see this as Vladimir Putin trying to use Brittney Griner to turn the black community, the United States community in general, against the Biden administration. So we can then just go back to what? Trump and, you know what I'm saying, splitting the country in half? I mean, listen, man, I wish Brittney Griner gets back as soon as possible, but I feel as though we as Americans have to do a lot more and can do a lot more, and we're just putting too much on the presidential administration when it's one person. And we as Americans, them as Russian citizens, could do a lot more for Brittney Griner if we just all speak up more. If we all just speak up more. You get what I'm saying? So I feel for Brittney Griner, especially knowing that just a year ago, a woman got caught with 10 times the amount of marijuana that Brittney Griner was caught with, and she was released in 4 months, and Brittney Griner is still staring at 8 years. I'm praying for you, sister. I'm with you, sister. And like her lawyer was saying, this isn't just a Biden thing. It's a thing. You got to think, Brittney Griner was wearing a Black Lives Matter hoodie as she was in that Russian airport. She is a LGBTQ member. She is gay. She is a lesbian. And Vladimir Putin, they literally lock people up for stuff like that in Russia. So it's not just, oh, he wants to get back at Biden. It's not just he wants to get Trump back in the office. It's not just that. It's also a thing of, he's not with the Black Lives Matter movement. It's also a thing of, he's one of those people, he doesn't believe in same-sex relationships. I'm a person, hey, if it make you happy and it ain't got nothing to do with me, I really don't care. If you're not killing people, you're not taking advantage of nobody, I could care less who you sleep with. So for me, those type of extreme people, it's hard to deal with. So, I mean, we as Americans have to do a lot more, in my opinion. We as Americans have to do a lot more. But let's move on. We got the Eagles acquire Roberts Quinn for a 4th-round pick from the Chicago Bears. What does this mean? It just adds depth to the Eagles' defensive line, and it's getting them prepared for a deep playoff run. When you're bolstering up that pass rush and that defensive line, especially when you think about that NFC, where you'll probably have to face probably a Matt Stafford. I mean, I don't know, because the NFC right now is looking shaky. You feel what I'm saying? They might have to go through Minnesota. You're going to have to get to the pass rusher regardless of who you're facing, and adding Roberts Quinn with his experience is just adding depth to that defensive line and getting them prepared for a playoff run and not putting as much pressure on the front line that they have, so they can rotate even more now and keep those guys even more fresh for that playoff run. So I love this pickup by the Philadelphia Eagles. They're eating a lot of Roberts Quinn's huge salary, but if they get a big playoff run out of it, even the Super Bowl ring, it'll be all worth it. So I like to move for the Philadelphia Eagles, and then you didn't give up too much, a 4th-round pick to get them. So Yeah, I like that pickup for the Philadelphia Eagles. Moving on to Thursday night football, we got the Ravens at the Bucs. What am I expecting from this game? I want to see how the Bucs defense will be able to come out against the Ravens offense. The Ravens offense that's a little bit more simplified than the Bucs offense because they run a bunch of RPOs. So they're running that regardless of what defense they're playing. I feel like the Bucs offense is a little bit more tailored to the specific defense that they'll be playing, and they only had 3 days to get prepared for the Ravens defense. So I want to see how the Bucs defense will be able to come out there and handle this Ravens offense, because if the Ravens offense comes out fast as they usually do and get up early on the Bucs, I do not see them being able to fight back and come back, because they haven't shown it so far this year. So that's what I see happening. I'm going to go with the Ravens in this game, 24-10. In Tampa Bay, yeah, I see a big game for Lamar Jackson coming out fast, hitting them hard, hitting them early, and then just sitting on the ball to get the game out of there in the end. So, yeah, 24-10, Ravens over the Bucs tonight for me. Let me know what y'all think. This is episode 41, MadMizzy Sports Morning Show. Like, comment, share, subscribe, listen, alert, MizzyWorld Entertainment. Gang.